The Prime Minister was out first thing this morning to try and address the SNC-Lavalin affair, saying it was all about an erosion of trust between the Prime Minister's office and then Attorney General Jody Wilson-Raybould. He stopped short, though, of an apology, which some had been expecting. And that is where we begin as we take you behind the headlines with our panel. Joining me in studio is film critic and Pop Life host Richard Crouse. We also have social media personality Stewart Reynolds and parent blogger Samantha Kemp-Jackson. And thank you all for joining us. So, Stewart, let me begin with you. The Prime Minister, was he able to change the channel on this? Do you think it's a thumbs up?
It's generally a thumbs up. I mean, politics is such a dirty, slimy game. I mean, it's classic. You can't go forward without going backwards. There's no sort of black and white absolutes in politics. I think he's doing the best he can. It's a messy situation. And is it going to make everyone forget about it? I don't think so. But is it a big deal in the perspective of everything else in the world? Not really.
Oh, yeah.
I just feel lucky to be here because we were doing a drinking game, and every time he said erosion of trust, we had to take a shot.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Thumbs up or thumbs down, I guess.
It's a thumbs down for me. You know, and I think that more and more people are going to want some real answers here. Some, were there laws broken? Well, not exactly, but there were sort of ethical rules that were stretched. We're going to start getting into the point, and I think we're already there, where it's all about minutia. It's going to be, on this date, I said this, and I misunderstood, and perhaps they misheard. And I think that people's attention is starting to wane away from the important parts of this. Was it an ethical violation? Did this actually happen? Or was it a misunderstanding? Who do we believe? And we've got to figure that out soon before this just drags along like an anchor tied to Justin Trudeau's leg.
And Sam, there was a lot of talk about contrition, about an apology. We didn't hear an apology. Did we need to?
I think we did need to, because there's been so much speculation in the press, and because so many people have come out on either side of the issue. I think he needs to say something definitive. Now, that being said, I think that Justin Trudeau is unfortunately in a very untenable position, because he's damned if he does and damned if he doesn't, if you don't mind the term. He can't win on both sides. So I think that he would be best to at least say something definitive to show that he is taking a stand one way or another.
He says, or people close to him are saying that it's unlikely that you're going to get that big apology that everyone was looking for. Over the last few days, we've been hearing they're drafting a letter of contrition and all that stuff. It's unlikely that we're going to get that, because in his heart, what we're hearing from the inside is that he doesn't feel he did anything wrong.
Well, R. Kelly doesn't think he did anything wrong either. And that's where we pivot to next, because we saw this explosive, angry interview that R. Kelly gave on American morning television after the documentary with the allegations of sexual abuse. So what I wanted to ask the panel about is in terms of, because a lot of radio stations in the States and Canada have pulled his music as a result of this. Similar thing happened with Michael Jackson. One wonders that when an artist is accused of bad behavior, what happens to the art? Is it something that you don't want to hear anymore? Is it something that should be negated or the contributions lessened? And I'll begin with you, Richard.
Well, it's the old argument. Do you judge the art or do you judge the artist? And, if you judge the art, then you're not looking at Picasso paintings anymore. If you, really are believing all the allegations against Woody Allen, apparently Annie Hall can't be seen on television anymore. So it depends, right? And I think it's down to your basic choice. I know that I heard a Michael Jackson song on the radio this morning here in Toronto. Yeah. So not all radio stations have done this carpet ban on his music. Some people are saying, and if you look at Twitter, people are saying, okay, in the Me Too era, we believe the victims. But a lot of people are saying, let's pull this back into macro a little bit and have a closer look at some of the stories here that these people are telling. And I don't know if we believe them all. That's what people on Twitter are saying. And there's been a lot of that on Twitter. So I think radio stations are thinking when they're going to pull the plug on the music or not. They're saying, well, do people still want to hear it? If they play it and they get 1 million complaints, they won't play it anymore. If they play it, don't stop till you get enough. And nobody complains, they'll keep playing it.
Would you listen to it? Do you think about the controversy, Stewart?
Certainly think about the controversy. I think, I thought a lot about this, and I think that if the money's not going to the artist anymore, they can't benefit out of the art. I don't feel like we should be deprived of the art. it's sort of the argument of, if we know so much about our celebrities now, we know so much about our artists now, more than ever in history.
It's true.
And I shudder to think what, previous artists, like what Lord Byron was like or something. Can we not do that anymore? I mean, I'm sure that was lots of sketchy stuff. What was Shakespeare like? I don't know. Maybe a terrible guy. No offense, Stratford. Don't.
I know,
He's great.
There's going
He's
to be
great.
people outside your door.
But it's worth making the point, I think, Sam, that I mean, the music, the contribution. I mean, we're talking about incredibly talented individuals that obviously did some incredibly bad thing or accused of.
Yeah, I'm of the mindset that I can't listen to the music the same way again, and for that reason, I don't know that I want to hear it again. It's the same feeling that I had, Bev, when I heard about Woody Allen and all of the allegations, and I 100% believe the victims. And after that, I had to kind of dismiss Woody Allen from my life. I love Annie Hall. I love all of his movies. I think he's a brilliant director. But that being said, knowing what I know now, I can't go back. The same thing is for Michael Jackson. I grew up with Michael Jackson music. I loved Thriller. I remember when it came out. I love all of his songs. He's got a wealth and a library of music, and the man is definitely talented. But hearing that he is doing the things that he allegedly did, and I believe that he did them, I believe the victims, I really can't go back. That's my position.
It's interesting. The family is really pushing back against this, and they're bringing up, that in a court of law, both these people, Wade Robson and James Safechuck, said, nothing happened, all that stuff. And it's interesting because, like Elvis Presley, decades before, you had these artists who, during their lifetime, generated lots of money and then spent it almost as quickly as they could make it. Whereas now that, when after Elvis died and wasn't giving away fleets of Cadillacs, and Michael Jackson wasn't buying iron lungs and all that kind of stuff, that there's a lot of money at stake here, like a lot of money at stake. Apparently, the Michael Jackson name still generates about $2 billion a year.
Still selling.
That's big money for the family.
Okay, so I want to quickly move before we end it to the "Have you seen this yet?" portion of the panel, and that's yet another YouTube channel. This is bizarre, to say the least. I guess parents throw pieces of, processed cheese at their babies, so it sticks on their face so that, I don't know, people laugh. They post it, other people laugh. Or babies, toddlers, or young children. Have you seen it? Is this ridiculous? Or, as the Washington Post says, Stewart, is this, the doomsday of humanity?
It's not the doomsday of humanity. I mean, it's stupid and it's silly and it's fun. I mean, I personally made 2 videos with cheese slices on my face. It's comedy gold.
Of course
People love it.
I didn't know that.
That's Stewart Tuna Melt Reynolds, we call him.
That's
so. Listen, it does make me laugh, and I don't think it's right that I'm laughing at this. But Howard Stern,
say it's abusive.
Well, it's not right. I don't think it's right. Howard Stern used to do a thing where he would throw slices of bologna on people.
Okay.
And back in those days, people thought it was hilarious. I don't think you should be throwing cheese at a dog because it's not going to stick to them, for one thing. And that dog clearly did.
Sam,
right.
parent blogger.
No, I'm sorry. I'm going to be the naysayer. I don't think cheese slices should be thrown at dogs, at humans, or any other living creature. And, like processed cheese is bad enough, but throwing it at people, no. I say no.
Just the thin slices.
Yeah. One of our producers in the newsroom was like, I said, well, what about, when they put the lemons in to see the, the reaction the baby's face? And they thought that was more abusive than the cheese.
I think
agree.
And it probably is. I don't have kids, so I don't know, but I think that the lemon teaches the kids not to eat lemon. It's a teachable moment.
Yeah, so
throwing a piece of cheese in their face doesn't teach them.
You don't have
Teach them how
kids,
to
but you've
catch
got a lovely
cheese.
wife. Do you think she'd say, okay, Andrea,
Oh, yeah, I know.
let's try this?
I would have to find a new place to live. There'd never be cheese in our house again, at the very least.
Richard Crouse, Samantha Kemp-Jackson, and Stewart Reynolds, appreciate you all coming on. Thank you.